Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Gids. Thank you for joining me for today's video. I know I've been away for a while. I know it's been a long while. I think the last video I made was a few months back. It was a very interesting video to actually make, and I got so much interesting feedback on my very last video, which was how many fragrances do you need? Now, please don't think I'm being hypocritical by sharing a new fragrance which I purchased for myself. This was a very considered purchase and a belated birthday gift to myself, which I wanted to share on camera because it's from a house that I love very, very much, very dear to my heart, Chanel. And it's their latest fragrance from their Les Exclusifs line. This was called Comete. So I thought it'd be interesting to unbox it on camera. It's not a blind buy. I did try this out and I fell in love with the fragrance. I thought it's beautiful and I thought I'm gonna add it to my collection. I was lucky to have some vouchers for John Lewis where I purchased it. They were also doing a 15% off promotion plus an additional promotion. So I saved a lot off this fragrance. So I'm very happy about that. Plus, I love it. So let me unbox it and I'll get more into the fragrance and talking about it as I do so. So here we go. It's always exciting to unbox a new fragrance. The thing with these, you've got to hold it carefully because it can drop. So I'll just unbox it and just get this off it. Sorry, I know. Some people really hate the sound of all the crinkly. But here it is. This is the fragrance in question and this is it here. This is Comete. It's the latest Les Exclusifs. We waited a long time for this fragrance. I think the last one, which was Les Lions, came out about 2020. So this is 4 years. Well, I don't know how many years this is, maybe 4 or 5 years in the making that we waited. And it's weird, Chanel didn't really do like a proper launch for this fragrance. I thought I would have seen more of it on their beauty Instagram, but they haven't really done much. There is some stuff on their main Chanel website, but they haven't really promoted this, which is odd. Anyway, I was pleasantly surprised when I was in King's Cross, London, and I went into the Chanel beauty store and sampled this, and I was instantly in love. So I'm gonna spritz it on skin. Again, this is not a first impressions. I've already smelt this fragrance. I've tested it out, really enjoyed it. So let me start by spraying it on. Oh, that's a nice mist. Wow. I think they've even improved the mist. And I'll do a little bit on card as well here for you. Sprays really nicely. Wow. That is beautiful. Yeah, it's as lovely as I remember. Now, this fragrance, I'll just read out the description that Chanel have given about this latest release. Head perfumer Olivier Polge from the House of Chanel. He's the in-house perfumer at Chanel that does all of their fragrances. Now, the description of this fragrance is: born under a lucky star, the Bijoux des Diamonds collection was created by Gabrielle Chanel in 1932. It featured the legendary Comete necklace, whose shooting star nestles in the hollow of the neck and symbolizes the intimate nature of jewelry. Luminous and sensual, Comete Eau de Parfum, a fragrance whose cherry blossom accord is intertwined with heliotrope and powdery iris notes, leaving a trail reminiscent of stardust in its wake. It's quite a lot there, isn't it? I mean, all right, Chanel. So this fragrance is very interesting. The first thing I got when I first sampled it is, I thought, wow, this is so different to so many of the other Les Exclusifs from the Chanel collection. I love the Les Exclusifs collection from Chanel. I find it so interesting, so high quality. They're blended beautifully. And I think it's, for me, overall, the most consistent of all the private lines of any luxury design house. There's a coherency between all of the releases in the Les Exclusifs range. Now, I know Chanel have said that this has this cherry blossom accord, and that's kind of the way they're selling this. This idea of this luminous, fresh cherry blossom, which gives us an idea of spring. But of course, as many people have said, cherry blossoms don't have a smell. But what I instantly pick up from the fragrance, first of all, it opens very sweet, and there is a freshness. There is this almond, cherry, sweet, fresh opening, which is really bright and really just hits you. As with a lot of Chanel fragrances, this contains a heavy dose of aldehyde. So it gives this fragrance that luminosity, that freshness, that sparkle, which is what the aldehydes do in the Chanel fragrances. They keep them very soapy, but sparkly and fresh and clean. And that for me is something I just always enjoy about the Chanel fragrances. There is this clean, fresh muskiness that sits under the notes with the aldehydes, which really makes Chanel fragrances just come alive. I feel the aldehydes really make Chanel fragrances come alive, in my opinion, and this is no different. The iris, of course, makes this fragrance powdery. As it dries down, it does get powdery, but I don't mind the powdery facet to the fragrance. Some people say in this one it's very, very powdery, but I don't mind the powdery texture of the fragrance. If anything, I think it adds the classic Chanel DNA to the fragrance. I love this, and I love it because even though it smells different for a Chanel fragrance, it still retains that Chanel DNA. It lasts, for me, a decent amount of time on my skin. I tried it about 3 o'clock. I could still smell it and I was still getting whiffs of it. And I did a good amount of sprays when I was in the Chanel beauty store, and it just lasted really nicely. It lasted a long time. I was still getting whiffs of it. It did get closer to the skin around the 6-7 hour mark, but I still thought that was pretty decent for what it is. It's so nice on skin. It's sweet. It's a sweet fragrance as well. So the sweetness really starts to come through more and more in the dry down, I find, and it makes this fragrance feel quite cozy, like you're being cocooned in this sweet, beautiful aroma as well. Really classy fragrance, as Chanel, of course, is always very, very classy. Of course, the iris and heliotrope work really nicely together to make the fragrance still feel quite floral, but also quite powdery and fresh. And there is that freshness that comes out in the opening as well. Yeah, see, for me, it's on my skin, it's very sweet, but it's not a sickly sweet perfume. It's just sweeter than what I'm used to from Chanel. To me, Chanel is not a house that really makes super sweet fragrances. They make very classic, classy, elegant fragrances, but nothing which is overly sweet. It's still very bright and uplifting. And I remember walking out of Chanel, sprayed this all over me, and as I was walking, this big cloud of the perfume was just everywhere, and it was really enjoyable. The scent bubble was amazing. I walked around feeling really classy and elegant. I've heard people say that this is nothing special. The thing is, you're not going to be able to please everyone. Chanel doesn't release these fragrances, every 6 months like some houses do. Chanel is more considered. They're going to give you a Les Exclusif every few years, if you're lucky. This took 4 years for it to be released, and I don't know if Chanel have really pushed this fragrance maybe the way they should have. I feel the Les Exclusifs, there's a subtlety to them. They push, Coromandel, Sycamore, Beige, 1922, 1957. They push I think the big sellers, but some of them don't really get the push they deserve. I really hope this one will get a push on the beauty website and on their beauty Instagram. Overall, don't dismiss this. Give this a chance. If you're a fan of the Chanel Les Exclusifs, definitely one to check out. If I was to compare this to another Chanel Les Exclusifs, the closest one for me would be Beige. Beige has something similar in the way it dries down. And actually, this is smelling to me like Beige, but it's not as sweet or as powdery. This is classy. This is a very, very classy fragrance. Yeah, that cherry almondy sweet accord is really nice in this fragrance, really lovely. So I don't know, I feel like this review is a bit all over the place. Overall, I love this fragrance, and it's something that, you know, I'm gonna really enjoy wearing. I think especially now in spring, this is something which I'm gonna really enjoy. I really, really love my Chanel Les Exclusifs fragrances. I treasure them all. I wear them, I enjoy them. I've been wearing a lot of Jersey and a lot of Boy, and I will be wearing a lot of Comete as well. Really beautiful fragrance, really happy that they released it. And I love the work of Chanel. I love the classic, timeless heritage that the house has, and how they always pay tribute to, you know, the legacy of the house, which is very, very special. I feel that's the one thing that Chanel have that many brands don't. I'm not saying houses like Dior and Louis Vuitton don't have heritage, they definitely do, but they don't celebrate their heritage in the same way as Chanel. Chanel, through and through as a brand, really are proud of everything that they've been able to accomplish throughout their history, and this private line really celebrates that in all its facets. I hope you've liked this review. Leave me your comments down below. If there's anything else you'd like me to say on this fragrance, then please leave me a comment down below. But yeah, have any of you guys tried this? And is this the kind of fragrance you would like to try? I really like it. I think this is quite a special fragrance, and I'm really looking forward to wearing it more. That was my review of Chanel Comete. Please comment down below. Of course, subscribe, like this video if you like this review, and I will see you in my next video very, very soon. Take care.